Hello and welcome back to Suspended Fanimation. I'm your host, Dennis Bithoulkas, and it's time for Star Wars The Bad Batch Season 3, Episodes 1 through 3. Welcome, everybody, and before I begin, let's just start with the big elephant in the room. Where the fuck was I for a couple of months? Well, work just got to be, way too much. Plus, I am getting a really bad cold in December, where my voice sounded like shit for about 3 weeks. And then I just ended up getting lazy because shit was happening and it was just busy. It was busy, laziness, all that kind of stuff, and there really wasn't anything good on. So I took a little bit of a break. That's pretty much what happened. So that's what's going on. Welcome everybody, and to those of you who are new, spoiler alert: I am going to spoil the episode. If you have not seen the episode, go and watch it. Come on back. This will be a video you can comment down below in the comment section. Give me enough time to go away, all that kind of stuff. Hit pause, whatever you need to do. All right. All right. So yes, I am back. I do have a whole bunch of stuff up. If you go over to suspendedfanimation.com, I've got a whole bunch of stuff up on the page there. I've not revamped the page. I haven't done any work to the page. I'm not gonna lie about that, but I have put a whole bunch of shit in there of what the future stuff is that's coming up. So yeah, you didn't really miss too much, Pen. I'll get into it here. So really, we kind of where we left off was, Omega's been taken by the Empire. Um, Tech is dead, of course. Our boys Hunter, Wrecker, Echo, and Echo are basically on their own because Sid betrayed them, and Crosshair has also been betrayed by the Empire, even though he was, doing there. So we see Omega. She is in the fortress with Dr. Hemlock there, and she's basically going about the same thing that she was doing with Namaste before, which was, or Nalase, excuse me, Namaste. Namaste? Nalase. So she's being Nalase's assistant. But she's still under supervision by another clone, of course. And I just Emmy. There we go. Emery. And we're seeing her day-to-day life and all this stuff, and she is making note of things. She is, of course, trying to find a way to escape. And she does talk to Crosshair every now and then as well, who Crosshair is just telling her, "What the fuck are you doing? Get the fuck out." He goes, "If I can get out, I'm gonna leave you behind. I don't care. Don't bother with me. Just get out," kind of thing. And she, of course, does get found out and gets her privileges taken away. But also, she also sees Nalase has been taking her blood samples and dumping them. We don't know why. We also don't know what this project is that Hemlock is working on and what he has Nalase working on as well. We just know that it's something that the Emperor wants, obviously. So most likely it has to tie in with the newest trilogy that really sucked. But anyway, Yasi says Omega sounded like Cassian Andor one way out. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. So yeah, that's how kind of episode 1 goes through there, and she ends up being confined to her quarters for the most part, and nothing much goes from there. Just we see the day-to-day life going on. And then in episode 2, so episode 1 is called Confined. Episode 2 is called Paths Unknown. And in Paths Unknown, we get back to Hunter and Wrecker, who are searching for Omega. And they actually do a little job for the Syndicate, for the Red Sun Syndicate. And for information on where the hell the base has been, where Hemlock has been. and they get old information. They end up going to this planet that's overrun with vines and meet some clones, some younger clones. Excuse me, three as a matter of fact. And they need to get into the complex. They've seen that the complex has been bombed from above, from an orbital bombing, and Hemlock's not there. Just those three clones are there. And they said, yeah, these vines took over. These are actually part of Hemlock's experiments. Shit goes bad if you touch any of these vines. Don't touch them. Also, the place that you want to go into, the lab is toxic, and there's no power. So of course, Wrecker ties a Gronk onto his back, the Gronk computer that they have. They go in, and of course, all hell breaks loose. The other two clones, of course, decide they're going to try and steal the ship and get the fuck out while they can, but they have a change of heart. I should say one has a change of heart anyway, and comes and rescues them and gets them out. They get some of the data, but all they get is a sector out of that, which is huge. They don't know exactly where she is. They just know that she's in a sector, or that Hemlock's in a sector, I should say. And our final episode that we got to see was Shadows of Tantiss. We end up having the Emperor making a little surprise a visit to out there to the fortress where Hemlock is at, and he's going to check on something called Project Necromancer is what this is. That's what Hemlock's been working on, Project Necromancer. Nalase, who has been dumping, Omega's blood samples so far, isn't able to get to one of the samples, and Emery is going to run it in Nalase's place. And Nalase is able to tell, Omega, get the fuck out, take my pad, escape, get on a shuttle, and get the fuck out. And she says, because if they run your blood sample, you're in trouble. Get out while you can. So she's able to get Crosshair. She's able to go after. She goes down into this kennel, if you will, or there's these hounds that. So supposedly this planet is very dangerous. There are some, huge creatures out there. The Empire's been using these hounds, these native hounds, in order to kind of parole the perimeter, that kind of thing. And Omega had domesticated one in the first episode, which I kind of failed to mention there, and she was able to release it, and it's still out there. And then also a ship had crashed in the first episode, and all the stormtroopers on board were killed from whatever was out there. That happened as well. So Omega and Crosshair are able to get out. They get out through the kennel. They're going for that ship so that they can maybe send out a signal to, Hunter and Wrecker and, the boys, and have them come and get them. And instead, they kind of affect a self-release. And, Crosshair says, I take it, what, move 72 is. And she goes, yeah, Tech told me, he made me memorize all of them. It's like, of course he did. So they go through, and they're going to hijack one of the Empire's own ships as these guys are attacking them. They get on board the ship, and they're getting the shit kicked out of them. They're getting, fired upon when Emery gets word that the M count on Omega's blood sample is like through the roof. M count, of course, being midichlorians. So why is this kind of a big issue, and why did they kind of let them go? Well, this actually kind of ties back into the Mandalorian at this point, because it was a thread that was kind of dropped after the first season of the Mandalorian. So remember that Grogu, he was being hunted by the Empire because of his midichlorians, right? That they wanted his blood. That's the reason why he was being hunted by the Empire. That's what Mando was supposed to do. He was supposed to bring Grogu in so that the Empire could harvest his blood for the midichlorians. It turns out they really didn't need it, because they had already gotten the midichlorians earlier on. So yeah, it kind of ties into all of this. So Yasi says, and that sounds like the Ridley Scott series Raised by Wolves, Project Necromancer. Oh, well, yeah, the Necromancer's an old term. I mean, it's bandied about quite a bit. But yeah, that's how we kind of leave off this episode, though, is they're able to get away. Hemlock's like, that's okay. We have a lot of resources at our disposal. We can find her. And that's where we leave off. And of course, they've made a new friend with that hound to Basher, as she calls him. So he's on board as well. So Crosshair and Omega have escaped. I'm wondering what that reunion is going to be like with Crosshair, Wrecker, and Hunter, considering that, Tech is technically dead because of Crosshair. So, yeah. Raised by Wolves, yeah, was it got canceled for a reason. It really did. It really did get canceled for a reason. And I'm not really one that's sorry to see it go. I covered the first season, and the second season I watched, and I was just like, good God, this is horribly bad. But yeah. Yasi says, also in the second season of Rebels, the crew came across force sensitive kids. Yeah. So yeah, you always have force sensitive kids. So what's been happening here? A lot of, I guess you could say, series have always dealt with force sensitive or force adept people rather than people learning how to use the force. Lucas has always said that, from the very first A New Hope, the force is around you, it penetrates everybody, it binds everything together, blah, blah, blah. He's always said that anyone can use the force, anyone can learn to use the force because the force is everywhere, kind of thing. And Ahsoka is the first series that kind of, I actually rewatched Ahsoka fairly recently, and where Ahsoka's talking to Sabine about this, about how she can learn how to use the force, that she can actually become a force user. She just needs to practice it. That's the whole thing. And um midichlorians, which were brought about in fucking episode 1, yeah, the Phantom Menace, and dropped almost immediately, is just a really horrible invention. It really is. But it serves its purpose here in that the Emperor is looking for ways to make clones that are going to have midichlorians that will survive the process. Now, excuse me. Yeah, my throat's of course going to fuck up again here. Um, also, we've if you go back into Star Wars lore, if you go back to Heir of the Empire, which is Timothy Zahn, and that's the first Thrawn, where you see Thrawn for the first time. They talk about midichlorians, or not midichlorians, cloning force sensitive or force users, essentially like Jedi and things like that. How for some reason people that are more adept using the force, when you clone them, their clones get fucked up. Their clones become insane. They do all kinds of weird shit here and there. And I think that's kind of where Filoni's going with this as well. He's drawing a little bit from that as well and bringing this in. Time will tell in all of this. All in all, not a bad 3 episodes. We're moving along here. I think we have 15 episodes this season, and of course, this is the final season of the Bad Batch. So yeah, I'm interested to see how they're going to go out, how they're going to end this, and hopefully it's not boring. Hopefully they don't have a lot of filler episodes. Last season there were some filler episodes here and there, and then they kind of had to ramp things up really quickly, and yeah, we don't really need that. So, oh, and by the way, I've let's see, that way. There we go. That way, that way, that way. So that is a new picture back there. My Doom Patrol picture is still here. It's right over here. You can see the corner of it right there. There it is. But that is actually Ben Templesmith's picture, Galactus and Silver Surfer back there. And it's actually signed by Ben, too. So I put a different picture back there. And also, of course, I got, Jedi Temple mask is back there. Boba Fett's helmet's back there. Kind of hard to see with that right there. But Boba Fett's helmet back there. The dark saber's back there. I moved a couple of things around. So, and I forgot, of course, to light up the that thing over there. It's kind of weird. So I haven't been on like in a couple of months, of course, obviously, and YouTube has changed things around again, and I'm not sure where to point anymore. So if I point this direction, I'm seeing it on the camera going in that direction. It's just opposite of where I'm looking at. But anyway, neither here nor there. So, good episodes. Looking forward to next week, and I think we go back to one episode a week. Possibly. I think it's one episode a week, and then there's going to be another 2 episodes that come together. They're going to do the same thing like they did last season, which is fine. Where they do, one episode, and then 2 episodes. Then they do a little break, and then they come back again and finish it out. May 1st, from what I remember, is the last episode. So we have, it's going to be stretched out to May at that point. But what else do I have going on? If you go over to suspendedfanimation.com, like I'm doing right now, and you take a look at the schedule, you'll see that my next thing that I'm doing is actually going to be on Saturday. I'm going to try and do another episode of Saturday Morning Blast Off, where I take the genre news of the week and any genre stuff you guys want to talk about, and we talk about it. And then on Monday, I'm going to cover Avatar, The Last Airbender. This is the live action version, season 1, which is on Netflix right now. I'm going to attempt to watch that this weekend, and then, of course, cover that on Monday on a special episode of Is It Worth My Time? And we'll take a look at that together and see how that goes. And, of course, the Bad Batch, of course, will be next week, next Thursday. I know they air on Wednesday nights or Wednesday. They drop Wednesday, but I'll see if I can do Wednesday. If I can do Wednesday, yes. If not, it'll be Thursday night. So, yeah, it just depends on the timing. But what else is coming up for the rest of this? Let's see. The Walking Dead, the Ones Who Live season 1 is coming out on AMC. I'm not going to cover that. Code 8 Part 2 is on Netflix. I'll probably cover that. Megamind versus the Doom Syndicate, which is on Peacock, and there's also Megamind Rules, which is the Peacock series. I'll probably cover both of those. That's coming in March, next Friday, as a matter of fact. Dune Part 2 is going to be in theaters also next Friday. Invincible Season 2 Part 2. I will be covering that March 14th. I will actually cover Episode 4, which I didn't cover, obviously, of Season 2. So I will do that. Thanks, Pen. Yeah, I know I was bad, being out for a little while and all that, but I'm back. I'm trying to be back anyway. The work is still kicking my ass up one side and down the other. I finished off a couple of big projects, and I got another big project that, of course, that I'm working on right now. And of course, as my boss just said today, she's like, "Yeah, then just not to put any pressure on you, but here's the other big projects that we have in the back burner that are getting ready to come up." I'm like, fuck. All right. So yeah, like I said, work's kicking my ass. The day job, anyway. So, with that said, I'm gonna let you guys go for the night. Thank you to everybody who joined me tonight in the chat, and thank you out there. You know who you are out there for watching, and also if you watch the video. If you're still on the fence about subscribing, take a look at the video that pops up at the very end, someplace over here or over there. I don't know exactly where. And if you're still on the fence about subscribing, like I said, take a look at that video at the very end. YouTube basically takes the algorithm of all the stuff you've been watching and tries to match it as best as possible to one of the videos in my vast video library. There's over 1,000 of them and pops it up there just for you to take a look at. And if you like what you see there, please hit that subscribe button down here, I believe, over there. I don't know, someplace around there. And if you like what you see there, of course, obviously. Other than that, I'm gonna let you guys go for the night. Thank you, everyone. I will see you again on Saturday. Until then, don't let the door hit your ass on the way out. Otherwise, it might be another 3 months or so before I come back out here. No, not really. I'll be back. Thanks, everyone. I will see you again on Saturday. Until then, stay safe, be well, take care, and yeah. Um, Try not to let everything get you down there. Thanks, everyone. I will see you on Saturday. Have a good rest of your night. Thanks, everyone. Good night.